Good evening. Today is Sunday, and I think that you know by now, but if you don't, Sundays are the Sunday Sprint. And the topic for this week that we'll kick off today is who makes you better? There are several people that come into our lives for several seasons, reasons, and they come into our lives usually to enhance, make us aware of those things that they see in us and make us better, or those things that they see in us that need to be changed for the better to take us where we say we want to go.
That's right.
And I think far too many times we shy away from those people, the mentors, the coaches, those individuals, whether it be an individual or a couple, that are doing what we say we want to do because they're going to hold us accountable.
So, as you know, we are Regroup for Change, LLC, and we are a consulting entity that helps individuals, families, and organizations to shift and regroup from ineffectiveness over to effectiveness. But we haven't developed our passion, our skills, our encouragement alone. And so we wanted to, while we're on this 100-day journey, is to share with you some of the key people that have been influential players in our life. People that have mentored us, whether it's up close or from afar, where we have wanted to just dig a little bit deeper and really understand better about who we are, and that better equipped us with the tools that we offer to our individuals, our families, and our organizations that we help.
And I think a lot of times we sell ourselves short because we tell ourselves that we can't. Can't, cannot, not able to. You see how all those words are negatives? And when you tell yourself that you can't do something, guess what? That begins to manifest into, I can't do it.
There's a really good quote from Henry Ford. Whether you think you can or you can't, you're right. And it's something that we learned years ago, and it's so true. Mm-hmm. It's that word. What you believe and what words you allow to come out of your mouth is what manifests in your life. You know that, and I did this last week, and it's just who I am. But you know that there's a scripture that says that the power of life and death is in the tongue.
Oh, yes.
And so the things, I'm trying to not necessarily go to church on them doing videos, but
she'll take you there.
It's what's inside of you is going to come out, and what you speak is what you allow to manifest. And so what you were saying, those negative thoughts, is what makes the difference into who we are and what we become. And so it's very important that when you're feeling that those negative thoughts, those negative feelings are coming upon you, that you have some way to shift, that you have a way to cancel those negative thoughts and recreate positive thoughts, recreate positive words, speak positive words into your life, into the atmosphere around you. And I think that's why it's so critical to have good quality people in your corner that will allow you to shift and to do things better in your life.
So, now we need an example. Give us an example of those things, that negative thoughts that could creep in.
the first thing that comes to mind is insecurity. And it's something that we've been talking about a lot lately. And it's something that I've dealt with for years. And I'm in the middle of reading a book called Crash the Chatterbox. And of course, I'm leading a book study on it. And as a part of...
Because I was going to plug it. I was like, if you don't do it, I'm going to do it.
Well, I'm only mentioning it because as a part of it, while I'm reading the book and I'm facilitating the discussions based on the revelations that I get while I read, there are some discussion questions in the back of the book, but I believe that there's power in additional research. And so I also found that on the Bible app, the YouBible app, there's a Bible study called Crash the Chatterbox Bible Study, or a devotion. And the devotion I read yesterday talked about insecurity. And it's important that we understand how God sees us, which is what the first section of the book was about, chapters 2, 3, and 4. It's important that we understand how God sees us, because how he sees us shapes what we speak about our own lives.
All right, so we're not promoting nobody. You you did app and then the book. All right, don't talk about nobody else. They're not giving us. They not feeding into this yet. But you're speaking into existence.
What do you mean?
Because you just pubbed up the Bible app and the Chatterbox book.
I'm hoping to give resources. Because a part of...
They need to go ahead and support the resource.
A part of insecurity sometimes is we don't have the right resources, right? So we have people in our lives who may not understand us, who may speak down to us because they see something in us that makes them fearful that will supersede where they are in life.
You're different.
Right.
You don't fit into their social norm or the norm that they have grown to become attached to. And with that, I don't mean to cut you off, but I think that makes you different.
And that's a part of it. Or they see that your difference is something that will move you forward, and it may move you to another level where they're not at. And so they want to hold you back. It's you've heard the analogy, the crabs in the barrel analogy, is that people want to pull you down because they don't want to see you succeed. And so as long as you're surrounding yourself with people who are the crabs in the barrel, they're going to be constantly pulling you down. That feeds your insecurity. And so it's important that you recognize who you are and whose you are, so that you surround yourself with people who can help pull you up, who can pull you out of that pot so that you can do what you were created to do. And that will shift you from being insecure to being secure in who you are.
Understand, all of what she said will not happen overnight. Everything that Marquita said are things that she may or may not have gotten herself. She may have picked up some of those things from a mentor, from a coach, from somebody who has seen something in her, seen a gift that's in her that needs to be pulled out. And a lot of times, the things that are inside of us, we don't allow ourselves to pull them out because we're different, because of the insecurity, because we don't fit into the group that we're in. Be real clear. Take it from somebody who, it was a point in time, if you would have asked me, I'd tell you I don't like people. But I'm my only child, so I'm used to playing by myself. But no, seriously, I it's been 19 years since I've known her. I haven't changed. But in order to move forward, when you're insecure, you stay to yourself. When you're not sure of yourself, you don't put yourself out there because you don't want to be laughed at. You don't want anybody to talk about you. We've all been there, so I won't have to list all the things, but it takes that person. It takes that person that's going to speak life into you. It takes that person that says, I believe in you. It takes that person to tell you, yeah, you might want to go ahead and fix that. And it's that person that you don't you don't say anything to. Like, they check you, and you be like, I just got checked.
So do you have somebody like that in your life?
Oh, I got a couple of them. I can't tell you today, but I guarantee you. Y'all tune in. And I hope that I don't miss anybody, but I am going to give you all of my coaches, all of my mentors. Everybody, I'm going to try to give you everybody that has taken the time to pour into me to get me to the point that I can do this. Because there was a point in time, no camera, no, you wouldn't hear me talk. And I would tell you, I don't like how my voice sounds. And it doesn't make a difference. When you realize that you have more in you than you're allowing yourself to believe, you go ahead and you do what it is that you're called to do. You do what it is that makes you happy. And things that you're called to do and things that make you happy, guess what? You can't keep quiet about them. Mm-hmm. And you don't have to tell anybody, because you do them, oh, they see. And usually when they see it, let me tell you, you'll begin to know that you're doing what you're called to do. You're doing the things that make you happy when people begin to try to correctify. Nope, not a word. Using it right now, though. They try to correctify what it is that you're saying. Not because it's wrong, because they don't get it. But if you've studied and you've been mentored and you've been coached and you've done the research, you know what you know. I can't talk about you as well as I can talk about me. I know what I know. I know what my strong points are. I know what my weak points are. I know what I don't want to hear her say about me that I need to work on. And I know those things that I'm looking for when I make a change. Baby, you better go ahead and say something.
Can you write me a list?
I am Oliver Green, and I'm about to get off of the Sunday Sprint.
I'm just saying, if you write me a list, then when you do them, then I'll know. And I can...
Where you want me to put it?
Check off on the mirror.
All right. What, you on all the mirror? I'm about to blow this sticky tab up in the house.
Well, you know what? I said that jokingly, but one of the things that we've learned within our marriage is that uncommunicated expectations breed destruction.
Speak on it.
And that's something that one of our mentors taught us years ago. Oh, wow. Like several years ago.
I was going to say don't.
And, but it's so true. And I think that's one of the things that impacts relationships in total, whether it's a marital relationship, whether it's a relationship with your children, relationship with coworkers. It doesn't matter. Like
individual, family.
In the workplace, we often have expectations on people. And if we don't know how to manage those expectations, mm-hmm. how to communicate those expectations, then we're living up to something, we're expecting something that just won't happen because we're two different people. We talked about that last week when we were talking about perspective. We have two different perspectives. Humans have two different perspectives, right? And as long as we have two different perspectives, we're coming into the conversation from a different place.
We are going to see it differently all the time. Even if we see the same thing and we may agree on the same thing, there's a point in it that it's different. Whether it's the male's perspective or the female's perspective, it's different.
And neither one is wrong or right. They're just different. And so I'm thankful, while you're thinking about that, I'm just thankful that we have had people in our life to teach us those type of skills.
It's in the relationship part, I think a lot, I don't like conflict. As much as anybody that knows me knows that I may stir the pot a little bit. I may have growing up. I may have been I might be an instigator. Possibly. Whose team you on?
I'm just listening.
Body language. I'm trying to tell you. I did a I'm an instigator, and I lost my thought. See, that's what happened.
I didn't do anything.
She did it on purpose. None of this is rehearsed. let me go ahead and take the time to tell you this. Everything that we've been talking about the last 22 days, correct?
Yes.
None of it's been rehearsed.
No.
Everything has been
organic
and based upon the people that have poured into us. We've been talking, we'll be talking about something, and I'll be like, all right, what's the topic for the week? And she'll give it to me. So tonight she was like, I don't know, what's the topic for the week? So, I had one, and then she gave it to me again. But still, it's been organic. And if one topic doesn't work, you go with the one that does. And in this time, going into 2020, we need you to know whether you choose us as your coach, we want you to, we want to help you move forward. But if it's not us, we want you to be able to know that you can move forward.
And you don't have to do it by yourself. And that's why this topic is so important to me. Who makes you better? Because when you're considering people to work with and to help you in various areas of life, whatever it might be, not only do you want to know that they've dealt with a thing, right? But you also want to understand what their focus is and what their foundation is. So somebody can't pour into me if I don't completely trust them and trust their information. So the information that I do have, that I have grabbed a hold of and gravitated towards, it's because I know that those people have a solid foundation. And it's not that many people that I trust or that I will listen to enough to pour into me.
Yeah.
So if you had to give an example, just for tonight, I know we're going to be talking about this all week, but I'm pretty sure you have more than one person.
Mm-hmm.
So who's one person that you could highlight and shout out today?
Today? Larry Burton.
And tell us why.
Larry Burton, awesome gentleman. Awesome man. I was about to call him a young man, but I think I'm older than he is, so I can say that.
So that would make him a young man.
Yeah. I think I just got some brownie points. Yes, this awesome young man that I've come in contact with, Larry Burton. I have never had any individual that I can remember that is taking the time to sit and tell me these 4 words. I believe in you. And he said it, and I hadn't done anything. It was based upon a conversation. I believe in you. And when he said it, it did something. It was a, ooh, say it again.
Ooh. Oh, not say that again?
But just those 4 words. Saw something in me. We don't have history. But he saw something in me and said those 4 words. And from those 4 words, it changed something inside of me.
Was it just lip service?
No. He pours into me at least once a week. Remember I told you about that person that could check you and you don't say nothing? Check. And I have others, but the ones that, and you know who they are, the ones that stick out, the ones that you can go to. I've had a daddy-daughter question. I've had a finance question. I've had a marriage question. I've liked none of his answers.
Did you now?
But I've liked, this is where you're in church and the pastor says, look straight ahead. Just look straight ahead. You will not get in trouble if you look straight ahead. And I've not liked any of his answers because it's what I needed to hear. So yeah, it was a gut check. It was. But if you don't have anybody that can give you a gut check, I mean, I hate to say it, they may not really ride for you. They may get in the car, and they may take the ride, but if you coming up on the exit and they know you coming up on the exit and they don't say anything, y'all just driving, do you really need to ride with them? Are they really your ride or die? So it might be a poor example, but you get what you get it. Everybody, where you're going, honestly, where I'm going, everybody's not supposed to go with you, and that's okay. That's okay. Those that are supposed to go to your next, they're right there, and you may not have met them yet. Why? Because you are still stuck in your little cocoon trying to get out. But we will talk about this throughout the course of the week. You may even see more of Marquita, because you know how
we have our set days.
Plans change.
I'm a little stuck in my ways.
She'll make herself unavailable. But really, we want to say thank you for tuning in. This topic, it is, I hope, and I think we hope that it will be a blessing. It'll be beneficial to somebody. But you have to be open-minded to hear what's being said and then apply what's being said to you and to your situation.
And so I challenge you. You know I love a challenge. Drop below one person and tag them who has impacted your life.
Will you do it? That's the question.
And tell us why.
Will you do it? Crickets. So when you watch, for those that were watching the replay, drop it below. For those that are on, drop it below. Tag the person and say why. A lot of times people speak live into us and they've said one thing or they've made one comment. You've had one conversation and it's that conversation that you've remembered for years and they don't know.
Right.
And that may be the thing that propels them to do what they've wanted to do. So it's a chain reaction.
Or to keep going. You know, you
never know what a kind word, you never know what a word, whether kind or not, how that'll change somebody's life. Yes, so that's why you should always your word should always be kind. It shouldn't be that negative.
I didn't know where you were going with that.
Because the old me would have been like, they cut you off, you know what to do.
Oh, goodness.
See? No, but understand, when you buy into you, when you know your why, and you realize that you really want to go to the next, whatever the next is, and your next is not my next, you'll begin to be challenged. And if you really want to do it, you'll begin to put yourself in positions and in situations and around people that are going to cultivate that. Because you can't do it alone. You may think that you can, but you can't. There's nobody out there that has gotten to their pinnacle by themselves. Everybody needs somebody.
That's right.
So, you have your challenge. You have your, if you don't like challenge, because I've found that a lot of men don't like the word challenge. Didn't like to hear that, but you have your challenge. Put who it is and tag them. And stay tuned, because I'm tagging everybody. All my men, I'm tagging them in each of the messages. Tag them. Nobody gonna like it, they gonna like it. So you hear this, when you get tagged, I need you to like it. But thanks for tuning in. I'm enjoying this. I really am. 30 days ago when I got the challenge to do the 100 days, I was like, nah, no problem. And then I got kind of scared, wasn't sure. But it's day 22. It's the Sunday sprint. And I got one thing to say. I am Oliver Green, and I am half of Regroup for Change.
And I am Marquita Green, the better half of Regroup for Change.
And we want to say thank you for tuning in, and Name. Comment, name, tag.
Who makes you better?
Who makes you better?
Let us know. See you soon. Peace.